Secretary of Agriculture, Bill Northey.
Thank you all. Very pleased to be with you this morning. You know, I have never actually endorsed a statewide primary candidate before in any election. We've had a few local endorsements, but this is my first time, and I guess with everybody there is always a first time. This is my first time. This is a very, very important race. This is an important race not only for Iowa, but nationally. Certainly the Senate hangs in the balance based on what happens in this race. It is my pleasure to be here supporting Mark Jacobs for U.S. Senate in the Republican primary. So as Chip said, I get around and see a lot of agriculture around in this state. We have an amazing agriculture. You all know it. This is a beautiful time of year as well to be out there seeing it. We have businesses small and large. We have farms. We have large manufacturing businesses. We have local co-op elevators in our towns, hundreds of businesses in between. Certainly the business of agriculture pays a lot of bills in the state. And one of the reasons I'm supporting Mark Jacobs is that he is a businessman that understands business. He's a proven business leader that has saved jobs, has made payroll, and understands business in a way that our Iowa businesses can be assured that they will have a proven business leader in Washington, D.C. representing them. This is very, very important to our businesses across the state. Another reason I'm supporting Mark is as we've got to know each other, I realize what a great person he is. And we have a lot of great people in this race. We, up and down this ticket, are great folks. Mark is absolutely a great person. I consider a great friend as well. And the opportunity to be able to get to know him more, the opportunity to be able to have him serve Iowans. I appreciate a great work ethic. I know all Iowans do. Mark has it. He is out there. He's going to work. He is going to be a hard-working senator for Iowa. He is a person that is a conservative. He is a man of principle. This is someone that all Iowans can be proud to support, and certainly I expect Iowa Republicans to join me in supporting Mark Jacobs in the June 3rd primary. We need your vote. Get out and vote. This is an important race. Get out and vote. Look at the candidates. I encourage you to support Mark Jacobs. And thank you, Mark, for the chance to be with you. Thank you for your willingness to run. Put yourself forward. And certainly thank you all Iowa Republicans out there for looking at this race, and all of you for considering your support for Mark Jacobs. So, Mark, please. Great.
Bill, thank you very much. I can't tell you how humbled and deeply grateful I am. What a great job this man does for the state of Iowa. You know, there's a couple things that have impressed me about Bill. Number one, this is a man who loves his state. He loves this state very dearly. Number two, he loves his job, and promoting agriculture as a business is something that Bill does a great job day in and day out doing. And even folks that aren't involved in the agriculture business, how can you not like and support agriculture with Bill's strong support? And third, he is a tireless worker, and he is somebody that crisscrosses this state. In fact, he crisscrosses the globe on our behalf to make sure that our agriculture businesses have the opportunity to grow. So Bill, thank you very much for being here. As I said, I'm deeply humbled, and Chip, also thank you to you. You've been a great friend as well for quite a while. You know, Bill's right. Agriculture is a very important business here to the state of Iowa. And in fact, business is very important to our country here today. And I'm very concerned that our country's on the wrong track. Now, as a business guy, I like to look at a lot of data. And there's a couple statistics that jump out to me that really paint a picture of where we are today as a country. The first is 58.8%. And that's the percentage of Americans today that have a job. Now that's 4.5% lower than where we were just 7 years ago in 2007. The other figure is 47 million. And that's the number of people today on food stamps. That's nearly doubled in the last 5 years. Think about that for a minute, 47 million people. That's 15 times the population of the state of Iowa. 15 Iowas on food stamps. Something is very broken with that economic engine that drives prosperity and opportunity in America. And the way I see it, we're in a downward spiral now, where we have fewer people working and paying taxes and more people who are required to look to the government for support. And that's the basic trend that we need to address. Sadly, Washington has made it more difficult. Now, my view is the government doesn't create jobs, but it does create an environment that makes growth in the private sector either easier or more difficult. And the fact of the matter is, this administration and Congressman Braley has gone right along with this. Every step along the way, they've made growth in the private sector more difficult. Now, I'm the only candidate in this race that has a concrete plan to rebuild jobs and to rebuild opportunities, and I just want to touch very briefly on those points. First thing we need to do is we need to close the skill gap. And we can do that by focusing on our community colleges, making sure they have the right resources to do the job, and providing a helping hand for those that want to acquire new job skills so that they can get a better paying job. Second thing we need to do is we need to continue to build our energy resources that we are so blessed with in this country, including the renewable fuels industry here that's been so important to the economy of Iowa. Third thing we need to do is we need to tackle this costly regulatory environment that is strangling growth in our farming businesses, in our manufacturing businesses, in our service businesses all across this country. And we can do that by requiring an independent cost-benefit analysis before any new federal regulation gets passed. Fourth thing we need to do, we need a competitive tax policy. Our tax regime today encourages businesses to locate jobs in factories overseas, and that's wrong. What we need is a tax policy to encourage new business investment to bring jobs back to our shores. And finally, there's Obamacare. Obamacare is continuing to incentivize more and more people to get out of the workforce. What we need to do is repeal Obamacare and replace it with a patient-focused, market-based reforms. You know, elections are about choices. And I don't think any of us are happy with Washington now. Washington has, what, a 9% approval rating? And I got to tell you, in traveling this great state, I'm looking for anybody in that 9%. I've had a difficult time finding those people. But the choice we're going to have is either electing another career politician and somehow hoping for or expecting different results, or selecting a battle-tested business leader who has a track record of building coalitions and getting things done. And I think that's what's missing in Washington today, is sending people there who have the ability to get things done. And as your next United States Senator, I will work tirelessly to make jobs for Iowans my #1 priority, whether they be in the agricultural field, the manufacturing field, or otherwise, because that's what we need. We need a United States Senator that understands the core problem in this country and one who's willing to work for the benefit of Iowans. So Bill, thank you again for your support. I can't tell you how much that means for myself and for my family that are here today. And with that, as I said, we'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Bill, why make this endorsement at this time when you said you never made one before?
Yeah, you know, I was actually sitting on the tractor last week planning, whoops, moving your recorder. Sitting on the tractor last week and thinking about how important this race is. There's a lot that hangs in the balance here. We don't elect a U.S. Senator in Iowa very often. All Republicans are figuring out where they want to be in this race, and we'll have lots of good Republicans with lots of the candidates. I get a lot of questions about, you know, where is agriculture in this race, and where are the folks that stand up the most for agriculture, and decided I needed to step forward and say what my point of view was, that I think Mark is the best for business and understanding agriculture. We have talked a lot. He certainly supported a farm bill that was very important and certainly way less than perfect. I could have had a couple of amendments by some Iowa senator and Iowa congressman that would have improved that farm bill, but it's important to have a farm bill. It's also important to have an RFS, and we've talked through these issues. He's asked about these issues. I feel very, very confident that he would address the issues we have today and the future issues around agriculture the best.
Bill, some of the other candidates have either expressed opposition to the RFS or kind of gone back and forth on it. Is his strong support of the RFS, did that factor in your decision-making?
It certainly is important, and understanding what that means for Iowa. We're talking 42 ethanol plants, 12 biodiesel plants in Iowa, an impact outside those plants as well. If you look at agriculture and the price for our crops, the DDGs that come from that go into our livestock industry, it's a huge part of what we do here, and I think not supporting that doesn't understand how important that is. So his support of the renewable fuel standard is important to me.